And welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're on iRacing for the opening round of the Beyond Blue Formula V Championship. It's a 5-round series, and of course we are supporting Beyond Blue, so getting behind a great charitable cause in racing against depression, anxiety, and also to raise awareness and try and help prevent suicide. Tonight's round from the round 1 is Brands Hatch Circuit in the Grand Prix layout. The session tonight, we have 10 minutes of practice. Drivers are just heading over onto the track now, and then we've got 10 minutes of qualifying, and then we have 40-minute race. There is 40% capped fuel, so they will be forced to do a pit stop. There's standing starts. It's a single file with lap cars to the back. So coming into for our Beyond Blue, so we just want to make aware that around 2 million people in Australia live with anxiety. Around 1 million people in Australia live with depression, and then on average 9 people in Australia take their lives every day, 7 of whom are men. So also, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men are likely to experience anxiety in their lifetime, and 1 in 6 women and 1 in 8 men are likely to experience depression in their lifetimes. So you can see why it is a worthy cause for us to be joining with Beyond Blue. So head over to the track now. I just need to load our audio back up. And we have a very good grid size. It's the largest grid size that we have seen in our iRacing series. Currently got 20 cars that are all registered up. And we've even got some pretty well-known name here as well. So we're pleased to have Chaz Mostert actually joining us for the race tonight. So getting on and supporting a worthy cause. So the guys will be very excited to race with a good racing name. So we'll try and make our way through the list. We've got lots of debuts tonight. Usually I have only 1 or 2 to recognise ourselves with. And we've just been seeing some very quick times. The guys were having a practice session loaded up before the race session was actually starting, and they're getting some very quick times. They're getting down into the 141s. I don't think they quite saw a 140, so we're going to be seeing some very top-notch driving tonight. And these cars are a lot of fun. It's been a great addition to iRacing. And if you are joining us for the stream, don't forget there is a bunch of sound effect controls underneath. You can play a variety of fun sounds as the race progresses. You can cheer on for your favourite drivers. Even jump into the chat. I can see the chat and let me know who you think's going to take pole, who's going to take the win. And we do have a bit of a change to our point scoring system from the start of this series. Drivers will now actually receive some points for the qualifying position as well as the fastest lap of the race. So an extra bonus 10 points going their way for taking the fastest lap. So a fair few ways to strategize in the course of the series. So someone has spun out there. So we'll make our way down through. So we have Brad Newman. He's a newcomer to us. Welcome aboard, Brad. One of our regular drivers is Aaron Thompson. Usually have a few of the clutch kicker guys there to cheer on Aaron. I just can't see chat at the moment if you are loading anything up. I did just have to restart my device that's showing my chat on another screen. And Blake Urquhart, he is a well-known name with Apex Esports League. Mark Horton also with the clutch kickers. Matt Tesserio. He's been a frequent comer to our races. Another debut tonight is Cooper Murray. Welcome aboard. He's got someone sitting very tight on his tail. And Russell Gander is also debuting. Stephen Banks is a regular comer. He did have a break from the last series. Been able to make it back. Welcome back, Stephen. And Luke Angili is also debuting with us tonight. Hopefully I can find my way through the full list. So we do have 20 drivers in the session at the moment. Jake Kostecki. He's debuting tonight as well. And a regular driver is Robbie Bradbury. I think some of the liveries may not be loading up. They may be taking a while with all the cars on the track. Aaron Maguire, and Robbie is a regular with us, same as Aaron Maguire. And we have another driver, Troy Mortensen. So fastest in the practice session so far is Chaz. Let's have a look at his fastest lap time is a 1:44.669. The previous lap he set was a 1:45, almost flat. It was a 1:45.004. And then we have Troy now getting out onto the track. So I jump on board for a lap around the Brands Hatch. And if you are joining us for the stream, don't forget to hit that follow button. We do appreciate the growing support for Apex Esports League, and it's good to see so many drivers get behind a great series in support of Beyond Blue. And you can see at the top right of our stream there is our fundraising link. So we do have a goal of $500 that we're trying to raise for Beyond Blue. So we'll just load up our total. So we have raised $205 so far. So if you do go to our fundraise.beyondblue.org.au/Apex Esports League, you can contribute towards Beyond Blue, and then that will top up our tally as we try and reach our $500 goal. So it's pretty good. We've already got 205 before the series started, so I'm sure we can well and truly smash that $500 by the end of the series. So we should be coming on to a lap now. We'll jump on board. With the gyro, comes down onto pit straight. Not sure if you'll get time to put in another lap. Should be. He's probably going to park the car up. Yes, he is. The session just loaded out, so we'll jump on board for an opening lap. A fair few drivers now loading in. And Brad Clank is debuting with us tonight as well. The rest of our others, that's not the button I was looking to push. So Sebastian Vardell, who did just win our previous series. That was in the Spec Racer Fords. We're just getting more joining in. So I've got 21, so Bradley Morris too has joined in. He has raced with us previously. Not sure if he's been broadcast, so it could be his first broadcast race. Sean McKenzie, I'm not sure if we covered him yet as well. There is a lot of names to try and cover tonight. So a big welcome to all our drivers who are racing against depression and anxiety. Mick, you're at Queensland Raceway when Chaz won his first with DJR. Yes, that's amazing. Yes, and Kiwi, cheering on track days. We did have Chaz set the quickest lap. I'm just going to try and find him in this massive list. He should be coming up to a fresh lap. So we'll jump on board with the gyro. So he's on approach to the back section of the track. Car a little bit slippery still. Game session is set to morning, so track temperatures will be slightly low. And a good run on to pit straight. Let's see if he can set the same fastest time that he had from the practice session. Very nice line down through turn one. to that curb. And anchor it right down into the following corner. If I stick using that full exit curb. Uphill for the back section of the track. Some very good fast corners. Get his lap time up. So a bit of traffic coming up. This could be using a nice little advantage for a slipstream, carry a little bit of extra speed. To be balked by being caught up in the traffic for the following corners. It could slow up from what's been a spectacular lap. That's Robbie or Stephen Banks letting him through, moving nicely out of the way. Didn't slow him up too much. It's a very tidy lap. Same pace we had before. So did get held up a little bit. That was 1:44.449. So far that is the fastest lap. So he's set the pole with a 1:44.449. And the second quickest is Cooper Murray with a 1:44.568. Showing up now. We got Cody Seal. I don't think we covered him in the first part, so there's 21 drivers have registered. Chaz has just brought that car back into the pits. So could potentially... Oh, there's been a bit of a spin out. And there is 25 points to go towards the championship points for taking pole position. And if we do get any donations as well, throwing a message on the chat, and I should actually get an email notification at the same time, and then I can refresh our little donation goal on the screen. So dig deep and try and support what is a very significant issue within Australia, especially these days with the likes of COVID. It's affecting many people. The third quickest time out there is Blake Urquhart. He's setting a 1:45.176. Oh, he's just locked that car up. Not sure if... No, I think he may have just been trying to pull that car up quickly. Not sure if that smoke may have been actually an issue with the car. And the gearboxes in the cars are quite easy to destroy. So over-revving these in the shifts. So a lot of the cars you can just put that foot down and flick through the gears. And the car will be more than happy to tolerate it. However, with these, it will actually destroy the gearbox. So drivers will have to be very cautious. We do have unlimited quick repairs for the race. However, if you do destroy the car inside the track, you could be waiting a couple of minutes to have the car towed. Some good side-by-side action with Mark Horton. It's going to take a while to try and memorise all these liveries on there. There's a lot of names. They're going to be keeping me well and truly busy tonight. There's a nice little dart up in between the two, but he's just taken some damage after spinning out in between. I think that was Cooper Murray potentially in the black car going for that spin. And all cars have set a time. We're just waiting for Troy Mortensen to get a time on the board. So far there Spread of time is about 15 seconds between first to 20. So with some of our partners for the league, we do have Pagnian Advanced Simulation, which is Pagnian Imports, as well as Next Level Racing that have partnered with us. And then for our upcoming series starting this Thursday night for Project Cars 2, there will be a prize being given by Next Level Racing and Pagnian of a wheel stand light. So it's going to be a very great prize to win. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And if you want to get involved in any of our races, you can head to our social media link down below, the fb.com/Apex Esports League. There's all the details on how to get involved in our races. So Brad Newman holding second quickest time. Not too much difference between him and Chaz at the moment. It's a 1:44.551 to a 1:44.449. Tony Vaselis, I don't think I covered him in the practice session. So there's 1 minute remaining for the qualifying. Tony has been a regular with us the last couple of series. We have Sebastian move up into 5th. He's just bringing that car in. Someone's gone for a slide on approach nearly into the pit lane. That could have been an issue. And we've got Blake Urquhart. He's usually, I think he should have the Midline Sim Racing logo on the side of it as well. And he's parked that car up. There's 10 seconds remaining. Chaz holds pole currently. 1:44.449 has been difficult to beat. Drivers will now be on the last lap to finish up and change that qualifying position. Can a pole be stolen away on the last lap? Sean's getting some pretty good speed down along that back section. Got up to about 160 as he comes down the hill. There's not much difference between 7th and 8th. That's very tight. Our drivers are bringing the cars in now. About half the field currently still on track. These drivers should have enough time to get across the line. Session can just abruptly end, as it is only hosted by time. This is depending on how quickly we're able to get into the qualifying session from the practice. We usually have a little bit of time up our hands to get these last laps done. And can someone beat Chaz's time? 1:44.449. Brad Newman's the next closest. I think he's just run out of fuel on approach to the finish. That's spluttering a fair bit. That's unfortunate for him. It's not going to be the greatest lap now. So, if you get there, I think that's probably not going to get a chance to finish that one up. Tony's also in the pits. Troy's along the back section. He may have enough time to finish this lap up. I'm feeling it's probably going to end it before he gets to conclude the lap. You could just hear then a little bit of a blip as he's shifting that car. That's where you can run into some gearbox problems. With us jumping into the car as they released it and destroying the gearbox pretty quickly, and then That's ended his last lap. Luke may have enough time. No, it's just brought him in. So there we have qualifying complete. Chaz takes pole. So a spectacular lap of 1:44. And drivers will start loading up. We're going to see some weird things on the board. We'll refresh and see if we've got any additional donations. Still at 205. So don't be afraid to jump on and even share our link for the fundraising. So encourage friends and family to donate as well. It would be great to see us get very close to that goal. So we have all drivers loading up at the moment. So drivers have a minute left to grid up. If they do miss the start, they will start from the pits. A few loading up. It's just taking a little while to load all the cars. And there we are. We have the start to our opening round of the Beyond Blue Formula V Championship. It is green and we are away. A fair bit of smoking going on down the grid. Lots of cars diverting around, looking for some positions. Coming down to turn 1. Chaz is out onto a wide position. Just tucks in time. He had a little bit of pressure from Cooper. He had that nice inside line. And then Chaz moved over and dominated that track position nice and early. Looks like a nice clean start to the race. And he's really starting to pull out. There's about 0.8 of a difference between. We've got some weird things going on. So there's a couple of cars that actually started from the pits. I'm not sure if they may have actually been in an incident or not. I think there was a bit of off track going on. There was an accident from that back end between Neil, Matt, Luke and Troy from the looks of things. Chaz leading the race with Brad Newman and Cooper Murray battling it out behind him and still closing in on Chaz. A little bit of slip going on. There's good run on there for Brad. He's now sitting right on the tail of Chaz. He's going to get another good run onto him as he comes onto the final turn. He's looking to make a move on turn 1. This could be an interesting pass. Gets a nice line. He's come through pretty quick. He's going to have to try and pull that car up. He does. Chaz flicks back down to the inside line. I think he's going to get him at the following turn. Gets him under braking up onto that curb. That could be slippery for him. He could potentially spin. Did cost him a little bit of speed on corner exit, but it gets him again at the following. They're now side by side coming up to the hill. We're almost 3 wide. Jake Kostecki is now getting up there amongst Brad and Chaz, as well as Cooper Murray looking to try and get around. Chaz still holds that lead. And Jake Kostecki in that striped black and yellow car looking to weave. Look at a lot of movement going on. They're trying to look for some positions, try and sneak in. There's some very tight racing. These 4 cars are neck and neck. Giving Chaz a good run for his money here. They're going to make him work for the lead. There's 36 minutes of the race. There's only the first 4 minutes. Ooh, locked up as he comes into that corner. That could have ended badly. He did go for that inside line, but carried a lot more speed, so he had to try and save that car to bring it back across to the racing line. Thanks for joining us, Sami. Chaz takes the final corner with a much tighter inside line. Not sure if that was looking to go for a defensive line in anticipation. Oh, there's a slide. Narrowly avoids contact and then gets that car back under control without taking any damage. That could have been a huge incident. It would have been a safety car for sure. So he's only just lost a few positions. That is very lucky. That was a great save from Brad. The 3 running a great line, nice and wide. Chaz is starting to pull away now. There's 0.8 ahead of Cooper Murray. Oh, there's a lock-up. Narrowly avoids. I think that was Brad again. There is a little bit of contact. Hopefully they haven't got the wheels locked. He's going to have to try and reverse out if they are locked together. They are off track, so it's not going to require a safety car. We have Mark Horton and Sebastian Vandel battling it out for 6th position. Mark's tucking in very tight behind Sebastian. Chaz has just lost a position. Actually, I think he has. I think that, yeah, it is actually getting some weird position data on when the cars are actually being towed back in. It's actually giving him an extra lap. However, that's not the case. So Chaz still leads. Only by 0.3 now. That was a 0.8 gap between him and Cooper. It has dropped pretty quickly. Jake's also dropping behind. Oh, Cooper goes for an inside line onto turn 1. He's going to have to shave off a bit more speed and hit that curb. That's going to cost him. Chaz runs out nice and wide to carry that mid-corner speed. So on the nose of the Formula V. This is Chaz hunting down Cooper Murray. He was closing that gap on Chaz pretty quickly over the course of that last lap, and then now starting to pull away slightly. Push the lead out by 0.4. Struggling to get that speed to catch up. Cooper is getting away very quickly. Mark's side by side with Sebastian. They hold that line nicely through the corners. They're going to have to slow down a little bit more for this section. Mark's going to have the nice inside line. They both run wide. Can he hold the car? That could potentially be incident. Narrowly avoids him. He's gone off. Ooh, he would have taken a bit of damage. Hopefully he's going to not make contact with cars. They get through just safely. Jake Kostecki now closing back in on Chaz. Chaz seeming to lose a little bit of pace at the moment. Last lap was a 1:44.699. Sorry, that was a 1:45.311. Jake Kostecki set a 1:44.242. I think that's the quickest lap of the race currently as well. That is. That's why he's closed that gap in on Chaz. And even Cooper, that last time around was a 1:44.7. His fastest was a 1:44.4. So that's why he's now pushing that lead out by 0.6. There's 32 minutes remaining. The drivers will have to start considering pit stops in the next 5 to 10 minutes as we approach that halfway mark. have Stephen Banks closing in on Aaron Thompson. He's about a whole second quicker last time around. And he's going to be having to battle it out with Stephen very shortly. A bit of residual smoke from cars locking up onto the corner. Over to our race leaders. Chaz has closed that gap in slightly. Cooper now leading by 0.4. What did get down to a 0.3. He's really pushed that gap out into the final corner. Did save 0.2 on approach into the final corner before heading onto pit straight. Right up over that curb. He's getting very quick, but he's dropped the tyre off into the dirt. That could have gone badly. Didn't lose much time out of it as I would have expected to. Jake is putting some pressure on Chaz, which will be benefiting Cooper. So if he can keep Chaz busy, they can try and look at trying to push that gap a little bit further. These guys haven't had much break from this race. We're 10 minutes in. We've had Troy Mortensen have to retire out. Not sure if he managed to get any laps in. I'm not sure. He may have missed the start. And Jake is sitting hot tight on the tail of Chaz. Still trying to hunt him down. He's carrying a lot more speed. Not sure if that's because he's getting a two-way slipstream. A little bit of tail slip as he came into the final corner. See Chaz tucking in behind Cooper, trying to take advantage of that slipstream. Jake getting some massive speed. It's quite nifty. You get a few different camera angles. You can actually see the camera positions on the roll bars. So as we jump over to the roll bar cameras, we had a few different angles depending on which car we're on. So some are more centrally located, some are offset slightly. So seeing the great battle up ahead. Chaz really putting some pressure onto Cooper. A little bit of a lock. A fair bit of exhaust smoke coming out of Chaz's car. Jake carrying a lot more speed down that back straight, so he's now positioned along inside of Chaz and almost taking on Cooper as well. Passes the two along the back straight. That was fantastic. He carried so much more speed. Not sure what was going on, wherever he just used that for a nice slingshot around to take the race lead. Can he pull away now? Cooper is not giving that position up too easily. He's still hanging tight. It's been a great battle from our three race leaders. We're now pulling away from the rest of the field. So we have Sebastian currently in 4th position. He's 6.9 seconds away from the lead. And Cooper seems to carry a lot more speed onto pit straight than the rest. You can see how he's pulled away from Chaz and then just tucked nice and tight behind Jake Kostecki. Oh, they lock up, so that's going to allow Chaz to take the lead. And Cooper's now positioning himself back alongside. No, he just tucks back in. So a great opportunity for a pass there. That was a great drive. Slight lock up. These guys are putting on a fantastic show. Some great skill driving these Formula Vs. Going to be a lot of fun out there. Brands had a little bit of a slip that nearly made contact. That could have potentially put all three of them out of action. Brilliant save by Chaz. Just slowed off a fair bit. Not sure if he was potentially having to slow down. That little slip may have actually ended up making the game think he may have exceeded track limits slightly. Could have potentially been the case. Was enough to bring up an off track. Oh, it's happened again. I think that was Cooper though. That's a big spin. Not sure what went on. I'll jump back in and see what happened for... Not sure if there was contact made. No, may have been a bit of netcode. However, I think he did just drop that tyre off ever so slightly. That's going to be very costly for him, having to bring that in, but it's just in time. Yeah, that car is crab walking everywhere, so it's bent that rear wheel. Could have ended badly for all three of them. And we have Jake going for an outside pass. Gets around Chaz on approach to the hill. There's 25 minutes remaining. It's almost nearing the halfway point. And a good thing, I suppose, for Cooper, he could potentially be fueling up now. He can take advantage of the quick repairs for the race. And then get his fuel and then use that as the mandatory pit requirement. And the cars could potentially be getting quite light and flighty, as it would be nearing empty at this point in the race. Let's make our way through the rest of the grid. Let's currently have Sebastian Vandel in third position. He's 5.5 seconds away from the lead. He's got about 7 seconds between him and Blake Urquhart. And Mark Horton is now currently in 5th position. Stephen Banks in 6th. He's starting to close in on Mark. That last lap around was a second slower. And he hasn't got too much for Aaron Thompson. We'll be looking to get around him. Brad Newman is in 8th position. Brad Clank looking to pass Robbie Bradley down pit straight. He's got the inside line for turn 1. Brilliant pass by Brad. So he's now in 9th. Robbie Bradley, Century Motorsports KFC, he's in 10th position. And Cooper, after having that incident, dropped down to 11th position. Except if he did take advantage of the time to pit then and actually get that fuel, could potentially last out the remainder of the race, as the rest of the drivers will need to pit. And he's only 43 seconds behind the race lead, so he's going to be able to recover a fair few positions still. So we'll still have a fairly good result. We have Luke Angili currently in 12th position. Cody Steele in 13th. Tony Vaselis just coming out of the pit. So that was a 14.7 second. So that was fairly quick. Cooper Murray's pit was 12.9 seconds. That's with his repair. So that's just enough to get a splash of fuel. We have Neil McKenzie currently in 15th. Tesserio in 16th. And he did get involved in an incident early on in the race. But we saw 3 cars tow themselves back to pit lane. Aaron Maguire in 18th. Bradley Morris in 19th position. And Russell Gander in 20th. We did have Troy Mortensen. I don't think he made the start of the race as he's down as lap 0. We still have Jake leading the race. He's pushed out a good gap between him and Chaz at this point. 0.8 is the difference between the two. Previous lap was about half a second slower than Chaz. So Chaz could be starting to close that gap in over the course of the lap. And Sebastian in third, still teetering around that 5.5 second mark. So he's still keeping pace with these guys. He's not falling behind. He could definitely start to close that gap in on Jake and Chaz, especially if his pit stop strategy goes to quite well for him. He could see himself come out fairly close behind these guys. Those things can come undone in the pits quite easily. Races can be won and lost all by the pit stop. And if you're joining us for the stream and you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that follow button so you can see the support for Apex Esports League grow. It's great to see the outcome of all these drivers jumping on board to help us support Beyond Blue for this series. Don't forget, you can head to fundraise.beyondblue.org.au/Apex Esports League. That is our fundraising page with Beyond Blue. So those funds don't go to us, that is directly on their website. So all donations over $2, you will receive receipt, and can be a tax deduction. So it helps you out as well as supporting all the great work that Beyond Blue do. So Beyond Blue supports places where we live, learn, work and play, just to tackle stigma and discrimination and champion mental health and well-being. They do offer 24/7 support. So if you or loved ones are needing help or someone to talk to, there's a free service available 24/7, so you can call 1300 224636, or you can jump on for email online chat, which is beyondblue.org.au/get-support. There we have Jake Kostecki heading in for his pit. Chaz stays out on track. So he's out there on his lonesome at the moment, and I think, yes, Sebastian has gone in as well. So he could potentially be racing Jake Kostecki in the pits. See how quick they are. Currently at 9 seconds. We've seen on average about 12 to 14 second pit stop. Also got the times for in and out. A couple other cars heading in as well. And look at that. Sebastian pulls away quicker than Jake Kostecki. He's got quite a lengthy pit stop, 21.7 seconds. Not sure what's going on for him. Robbie Bradbury moves up into position 2. He will need to pit. There's just under 18 minutes currently left. Oh, big slide for Robbie. That's cost him. He hasn't pit in yet. Those tyres could be a little bit worn. And that car is going to be very light, very flighty. So it's not going to be putting a lot of weight down to put some grip onto those tyres. Staying out can be quite risky. We have seen it from other drivers before where they try and get as much out of that car, especially once it starts getting light and putting down some very quick lap times. It could potentially cost you an incident. You can see a few little corrections there for Chaz. That car was a little bit flighty, so he's bringing that car into the pits now. Sebastian has been in and pit. This is where he's going to be able to make some ground up. Can he potentially take the race lead? Not sure if he has any heads up that he can see whether he is, if Chaz is in the pits or not. I think they're going to be coming out pretty close. It's going to approach for the final corners. Chaz is just exiting now. Sebastian is on pit straight. Both had a very similar pit stop time. Chaz was 0.3 quicker, so he's out into turn 1. Gap between Chaz and Sebastian now is 5.7 seconds. Sebastian in a very good spot for podium for sure. He's got about 17 seconds between him and Blake Urquhart. Only 5.6 seconds away from race leader Chaz Mostert. Jake may have just ran wide potentially. He just looked like he lost a position. And Chaz still leading that race. He has pushed that gap out slightly from Sebastian. And we'll be crossing over to our drivers of the podium. I'm not sure if some of them are on our Discord. If they're not, we're not going to be able to cross over to them. Sebastian starting to drop away on that time. He's now falling back to 6.1. He was able to keep neck and neck before with our race leaders. There is some traffic coming up as well, so it could potentially slow down Chaz. That could be an advantage for Sebastian to close that gap in on him. If he can get around a little bit quicker and have Chaz potentially be slowed up slightly. And see some crisscrossing going on, trying to break that stream along pit straight. Blake Urquhart trying to stop Brad from closing that gap in on him. Locking those tyres up as they approach that hairpin. Don't forget to use those sound effects controls down underneath the stream. You can cheer on your favourite drivers. Let us know if who you think's going to win the race. Will Chaz maintain this lead? There's 13 minutes remaining. Brad's really closing in on that back straight. He's positioned himself inside, tucks around. A very quick pass. He had a lot more speed. Slingshotting around. We have a battle going on for position 6. I think that's some back marker traffic going on. It's Aaron Thompson sitting close to Brad Klink. Not sure who that is in between. I think that may be Russell's car. That's Russell Gander. He's currently in 20th position. To be getting the blue flag, but is actually up to the lapping cars to get around safely. Did hold up Aaron just a little bit, as well as Jake needing to get around. Oh, but then Aaron and both Jake have spun out in the final corner. Oh, narrowly avoids just rolled that car in, making contact. He's in pit entry as well. He's going to have to try and get that car out and around. He hasn't taken any damage. That's unfortunate for him there. They're both carrying a lot of speed. We have Robbie Bradbury currently in 8th position. And Thompson with clutch kickers in 7th. To our race leader, Sebastian Varndell, currently 7.2 seconds behind our race leader, Chaz. Chaz having to get around some traffic at the moment. Manages to get around quickly and cleanly, not slowing him up at all. He's pushed out that gap to 7.3 seconds currently. We have Stephen Banks starting to close the gap in on Blake Urquhart. He's 0.6 quicker last lap around. So you got a couple of seconds to catch up to Blake. That can be done if he keeps this consistent pace up. A little bit of spacing going on through the rest of the field so far. It's not sure, so I think he's getting lapped at the moment. Not sure whose car that is. It may be Cooper Murray that was just looking to get past. There's a few black cars out there. Let's make way through this. Bradley Morris currently pitting. Sagana currently in 19th position. Jake did end up back into the pits after that spin. I'm not sure if he took some damage. Hopefully he does know that there is the fast repairs and it's not holding him up. Have had some pretty lengthy pit times for a few of the drivers. Mick, yeah, somebody needs to race. Chaz leading by 7.5 seconds over Sebastian. There's just under 9.5 minutes left of the 40-minute race. He's had a cracker of a race. There's been a few close calls. A little slip and a good save, plus some very close action with a few that had managed to save that car that could have potentially ended the race for Chaz and Brad as well. Cooper Murray finding a bit of bad luck, and also then going on to Jake Kostecki having some further bad luck. They did also qualify in a high position. There are points given for qualifying position now. We haven't done that in previous series. So we've tried to match it very similar to how we score our Project Cars 2 series for the PlayStation on Thursday nights. Drivers receive points for qualifying position as well as 10 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race. Sebastian not able to close that gap in, but he's very similarly paced currently to Chaz. Last laps around for Sebastian was 1:45.552 and Chaz was 1:45.325. So he's been able to hang on to that pace fairly consistent throughout the race. And he did get that position too by way of having a fantastic pit stop, so getting away much quicker. Brad just carefully saves that car that could have gone badly. There's 7 seconds between third and fourth. Blake's got a bit to catch up to Brad Newman. And that gap between Blake and Stephen is starting to close in a little bit more. It's only 1.8 seconds separating the two now. There's 7 minutes to go. They've got about 9 seconds before they catch up to position 3. They could potentially try and catch and close that gap in for a shot at the podium before the race finishes. especially when there is backmarker traffic coming up. Chaz plugging away quietly at the front now. Attempt to maintain that focus and push out those consistent lap times so as to not relax too much and drop that speed off and allow the traffic to catch up, especially when he is having to start lapping the cars. Does not want to get held up and lose that ground or potentially get involved in an incident. Sean McKenzie closing in on Cody Steele. There's only 1 second separating them. They're also only a couple of seconds away from Mark Horton. He's getting a pretty good speed down into turn 2. Most of the field is fairly well spaced out. There's only a couple that are looking to do battle in the final laps. Fairly consistent 144 to 145 lap times. There's only about 4 laps left in it, so 3 to 4. It's carrying a lot of speed. To get around Cody. Not as quick on approach in that braking zone. Ooh, he's dropped the tyre off. But he's carried a lot of speed. Didn't cost him too much. Pace down through final corner. Position himself alongside. Sean gets around Cody. A brilliant pass. He's carrying a lot of speed. A little bit of tail slip as he approaches turn 1. So they're looking at trying to close that gap in on Mark Horton. He's 3 seconds away. Maybe a little bit tough to try and rein that in over the course of 4 minutes. Trying to see how our next battles are. Robbie Bradbury is 2 seconds away from Aaron Thompson. Stephen still trying to close that gap in on Blake Urquhart. He was half a second slower that last lap compared to Blake. As Blake has pulled that gap out. They were getting down to about 1.5 seconds. That's just now being pushed out by 3 seconds. So we're currently on lap 20. 3 minutes remaining of the race. Chaz has led for 13 of those 20 laps, with Jake leading for 4 laps and Cooper Murray leading for 3. There are some great exchanges between the 3. Oh, he runs wide, he's dropped that tyre off. Doesn't want to come undone now, and he's got a fair bit of traffic coming up. He does have a nice safety net between him and Sebastian, so he doesn't have to try and put too much pressure on trying to get around the lap traffic, as he doesn't want to put too much pressure on and potentially cause incident that could wipe him out at the back end of the race. It would be horrendous to see. He's had a fantastic drive. Right out onto that curb. Brilliant. on board with Chaz Mostert. Looking to get around this back markers quickly and cleanly. Car seems to be a little bit slippery. So it wasn't a mandatory requirement to swap out tyres. The drivers could save time in their pit stop by not actually changing tyres. A tyre squeal on that exit. This looks like a fantastic lap. His previous lap was his fastest lap of the race as well. I think he's just beat it again. That was a 1:44.111. Is he going to be doing a Rocky and setting fastest lap of the race for the final? This will be white flag shown soon. There's only 30 seconds remaining. He's had a fantastic race. It's long inside to get around quickly. Sebastian getting around some traffic. I think that may be Cooper. No, I'm not sure who that is. And the other black car. Sebastian battling it out with a lapped car. He has come into bad luck in previous series with back marker traffic. He's got 10 seconds between him and third position. So white flag's up, so the session timer has counted down for the 40 minutes. This is the back section of the track. Chaz has a nice gap of 16.6 seconds between him and second place, Sebastian Vandel. It'd be pretty risky to try and pass the back marker at this point in the race. That's right, Mick, that's why he races supercars. Fantastic driver, and he's following through. There's the checkers, and Chaz wins the opening round for the Beyond Blue Formula V Championship. Congratulations, Chaz. And thanks for jumping on with Apex Esports League to race for our charity Beyond Blue. And here's Sebastian Vandel on the podium, position 2. Well done, Sebastian. And he's just spun that car at the end and crashed it. And there's Brad Newman, crosses the line on the podium. Congratulations, P3. Blake Urquhart coming up in 4th position. Crosses the line, well done. Stephen Banks, who was battling out, trying to close that gap, crosses the line in 5th position. So we have our race leaders jump into the podium chat in a moment. So there we have the conclusion. I will hide all these in a moment once I can find the button that I want to do this. Actually, if I can hide all, might be easier before I bring that up. So there we are. Results for round 1 of the Beyond Blue Formula V Championship. We have Chaz Mostert taking the victory, followed by Sebastian Vandel in position 2, Brad Newman in position 3, followed by Blake Urquhart, Stephen Banks, Brad Clink, Robbie Bradbury, Aaron Thompson, Cooper Murray, Mark Horton, Sean McKenzie, Cody Steele, Luke and Gilly, Neil McKenzie, Matt Tesserio, Aaron Maguire, Tony Vaselis, Russell Gander, Bradley Morris, Jake Kostecki, and Troy Mortensen. I don't think got 2 starts. That was unfortunate for him. So hopefully we're about to cross over to the podium winners now. I don't think we have Chaz in our Discord. I'm not sure if Brad has also joined in. There's a lot of these members only just joined in on the back end. So we do have Sebastian jumping in now. So I'll bring Sebastian in now. I'll unmute him. Sebastian, are you there?
Yeah, me.
Yep. Congratulations on the podium. You're keeping good pace to the race leaders for a good majority of the race, and then getting ahead, passing in the pits. So getting out a bit quicker. I think it was ahead of Brad. I think it was. So we don't get the rest of the podium here to chat with you. It would have been great if Chaz could have been in here discussing the win with you.
I think he is going to come on. I think he just has to join the Discord.
Ah, wonderful. That'd be great. Hopefully we can get him over into it.
Yeah, I think he said he was going to join.
So how was it racing against a name like Chaz?
Oh, it was good.
And to be on the podium with him as well, so that's a great thing to be done.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then especially good run in after winning the Spec Racer Ford Series as well, so then come into the opening round and take P2.
Yeah, it's a good result. I doubt I'll be on
Sorry, what was that, Seb?
the podium again. I doubt I'll be on the podium again.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully we can see you up there again. It was a great race from you. I think we've got
thank you.
Blake. It's just jumped in as well, is he?
Hello.
Hello, Blake.
There you go.
Yeah, good. So good race, taking P4.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Bit different. Never driven the track or the car before, so that was good. Something different.
Yeah, no, it's great. Some fantastic racing out there, and especially seeing his race with Chaz Mostert as well. That's fantastic to see him get on board with us and support a great cause for Beyond Blue.
Yeah, mate, he's unstoppable, that's for sure. It's good to have some fast people this season, so
yeah, I think
that's
we're
good.
Going to be seeing some exciting racing coming out of the next 4 rounds. There's some great tracks with these cars. It's going to be a lot of intense action.
Oh yeah, I'll be putting in practice. I didn't know he was racing, so I better put some practice in now.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys, and congratulations on your race. And we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, mate.
And then we have, that was at least Blake jumping in, so we couldn't get Brad or Chaz, who was on the podium, to jump in. As Sebastian was saying, he's trying to get in on the Discord, so hopefully we can get him in for an interview next week if he gets on the podium again. It's probably going to be a given. Yeah, it was a fantastic drive. And then, of course, for the next round, we have Long Beach Street Circuit, so it's going to be some very exciting action around Long Beach. It's very tight, very technical. It's going to be great to see all these cars trying to find very limited opportunities to pass. It's going to be some very incredibly tight passes being done, potentially some incidents as well. So that will be again Monday night at 7:30 p.m. The broadcast will start. If you want to get involved in our racing, you can also head to our Facebook page, or if you're on iRacing, be sure to look up Apex Esports League. If on our Facebook page, we do have all the links to get involved in that, so you can join in and get on the races. There's plenty of spots available. We can have up to 40 cars on the track, so with getting 21 on there, we could potentially see. And then if you want to be potentially racing against Chaz Mostert as well, then that is a great opportunity. So do get involved, and don't forget to share that link, donate to Beyond Blue. It's a great cause to be supporting. And then there's plenty of more action coming this Thursday night as we start for round 1 of our RS01 Trophy Series, which is being sponsored by Pagden Imports and Next Level Racing. So be sure to check that out and then get involved if you are on PlayStation. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you trackside next week.